Welcome to the CFG GameCast, episode number 91, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and so much more. So show us some love. Give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you on any podcast services out there, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Aye, Capitan. Well, I had a cyborg kind of week, man. I don't know what happened. A couple times a year, I jokingly say, like, I go into a coma. I'm also kind of not joking, because I was fine. Everything's fine. 3 p.m. hits, and I'm like, must sleep now. And then I wake up at 11 a.m. the next day going, what happened? So that happened a lot this week, but it's okay. My hands needed a rest. I'm getting old, man. My birthday's in a couple days. I am going to hit level 33, but I've got like a lot of swelling. I think it's arthritis, but we'll find out in like a couple weeks or so. But yeah, I've just been hanging out and playing Mario Party, which was fun.
Yeah.
Playing It Takes Two with Ducky on Fridays has been a blast. I'm gonna be sad when that stops. But there's so much content. It just keeps going. Is this game ever gonna end? I have no idea. It's pretty great.
I have to say, though, the person that talked so much smack about Mario Party being the master of Mario Party, yeah, that must have been, that was kind of fun to kind of humble you down a little bit, Smitty.
Look, every dog has their day, and that's what that was. I have no problem with it. I still had a strong game, and I'm still, again, I know I am confident in my abilities in Mario Party. However, sometimes, you just don't get them dubs. Sometimes you don't get them dubs. I still had a blast playing, though, dude.
We had fun. It was fun.
It was fun. How far did you get in It Takes Two? Like how many hours have you been playing that game?
So I looked because I was like, he's gonna ask me. So I mean, we've had one stream where it took us an hour and a half to get going because we both had to update. But we've gone like 5-hour sessions like each time. So we're like 15 hours in, I want to say, give or take. But we're at the orchestra part.
Okay.
I don't know if that is a frame of reference for anybody, but that's where we're at. And it's pretty funny. No matter how because you're partnered with your husband in the game. And if you're playing the female character, and no matter what I say, everything sounds so dirty. I hope that anyone that wants to sponsor me in the future, please do not watch this. I humbly ask you not to watch it because I'm trying to be cute and I'm like cheering Ducky on. I'm like, yeah, get it in. You can do it. Oh no. No matter how I say things, it just sounds awful. And I mean it so, and from a pure standpoint, oh no. I'm shocked no one clipped it.
That's okay. One day it will happen. But sure. I mean, come on. But you also know the person that also is a drunken sailor and says that makes things sound very dirty too, Lex.
I do. It is
the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Chilling, man. I didn't get a lot of gaming in this week. I had a lot of work. I'm working on editing a show for next week. I got some shoots and stuff like that. We're doing some moving of furniture. So a lot of my focus was work. We did, again, like we were talking about, we got Mario Party in last night. That was dope. That was a ton of fun. That's one of my favorite games. I love Mario Parties. And Thursday, we played some Destiny, kind of wrapping up. I'm not going to be able to finish everything that I want to do. But I felt good about this season. I got it up to like almost 150 on the pass. So like I put the time in and whatnot. I'm excited for this new season to start, season of Splicer. We get a new 6-piece or 6-on-6 PvE objective or new thing. There's Vault of Glass 2.0 that's going to be coming. Those that play Destiny 1, VOG was the first raid that came out. It's a classic. It's got amazing weapons in it. I'm really Atheon's back, baby. So I'm excited to check that out. That starts next week. But yeah. So everything's here, but we're here, we're alive. We just living and doing things, baby. Got little Outriders in as well. We got smacked up last night. That was terrible. But it was good. It was good. How about yourself, my friend?
Oh man, I had a very good, productive week actually. Like, I beat Marvel Avengers, the first story mode of Marvel Avengers, early the week. So, like, I think I finished it on Tuesday, just so I could start Returnal. And I have to say, man, Returnal,
so good,
brother.
So
I am digging Returnal. This game is fun as hell. You know what? Housemarque, I've always liked the studio Housemarque. They haven't made any banger AAA titles ever. They're the ones that made Dead Nation and these arcade shooters kind of games for forever. And then they finally decided to say, hey, we're not going to make our own in-house graphics. We're just going to use the Epic's engine and just make something out of that. And they did a great job with it. I mean, it does have its small, caveats of it that kind of makes the game a little bit annoying. But I have been loving the idea that the fully randomized maps, the look of it, the feel, the haptic feedback, all of that bounced into this game. It is very, very good. I've been loving it. And I'm not a big horror fan. And this game did kind of give me a little bit of horror vibes initially because it didn't really show a lot of gameplay prior to it being released. But I did take the leap of faith because I felt that this is the game that was going to introduce what the PlayStation 5 can do. And it's exactly what it did. It did not disappoint. It's a very good game that I would suggest for anyone to be playing. So I haven't even touched anything else until maybe yesterday, until I messed with Ratchet and Clank and did Mario Party with you, Lex, and what's his name?
Doc.
There we go.
What's his name?
Wow.
And
I'm telling you.
Generic Fort player. That's what it was. But it was but I've been definitely digging it. I can't wait to play some more of it. That's basically what I've been messing around with lately. But anyways, but we all know. But I'm just glad all we know is I'm just glad that we was able to be the champion of Mario Party yesterday. Theoretically,
it wouldn't have happened had we made it through. You can't officially crown a champion without at least a best of 3.
Oh,
that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Sleeper agent coming in hot. You all
exactly.
Lucky.
Okay, well,
there's no telling how it could have played out.
That's very true. Very true. But hey, but right now what we have is stats, and I'm 1-0. So that's
all right.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Exactly.
We don't want to talk about our competitiveness in the Mario parties. I know, pretty sure everyone else doesn't want to hear it either. So we'll just go through the normal rigmarole that we normally like to do. So each of us picks a new topic or discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry itself. And we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners on Twitch, YouTube, YouTube and Facebook Live to be a part of the conversation with us. So if there's something that you're wanting to type in or check to add in our conversation, by all means, just type it inside the chat and we will put it in our discussions as always. So let's start off with Smitty. What are you bringing to the table, my dude?
Yeah, so we got to talk about it. This was kind of it was unexpected, at least for me. It's not something that I really saw being a thing, but apparently Sony and Discord have partnered up now, which is, I think, as a Sony user, is absolutely amazing on their part. Just kind of reading through this article. It's a article from inverse.com. I'll drop it in chat. But They're saying that basically they're looking early 2022 to bring Discord and integrate Discord into the Sony platform within their chat system. I guess this is something that Microsoft already has and has had since you said Xbox, OG Xbox.
Yeah, well, so Discord has been a part of, like, there was a deal with Discord. Now, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, I'm like 75% sure that that Discord had a deal with Microsoft a long time ago, like on the Xbox One.
Okay.
And they were doing, it was a partnership. It wasn't like, a buyout or anything like that. So they've been doing, so they had an app that was available for the Xbox One and allowed you to use like bare integration with it on their system.
Okay, yeah. So basically, it was on the 3rd that it happened. Sony Interactive President Jim Ryan announced a partnership. He also revealed that Sony Interactive made a minority investment in Discord, similar to its agreement with the Fortnite developer Epic Games. So, I mean, basically, this is going to, and I don't know how it's going to work exactly, but I feel like this gives us the potential to, having that Discord platform. I feel like Sony's really they realize that they're kind of behind as far as infrastructure things. And I feel like they're staking themselves into some of these other companies that have these infrastructures so they can then take that and utilize that, which is smart on their part, instead of trying to develop it. Again, Sony is so sheltered, and we're finding this out more and more. You know what I mean? Look at the Apple, not the Apple thing. It was the Sony thing. But how sheltered they've been and whatnot. And we've always known that. So I always see it as a good thing. I thought it was interesting, and I wonder if, on Discord's part, the fact that, I think I'm kind of glad that they didn't sell to Microsoft, and that they're going to stay as their own independent entity instead of, because, anytime you get sucked up into a corporation, things change. You got to follow, you know what I mean? If you've ever been part of that stuff. So I think they've been able to boast enough and do enough on their own that it makes sense for them to get into these partnerships as opposed to just completely selling off. Maybe that comes at some point in time, but this is huge. This is huge. And this is going to bring now too, you've got people that stream on PlayStation. There's an issue being in chat because you get PlayStation chat and then you got your friends that are on Discord or whatever. So that's a pain. You know what I mean? So just being able to access that and have access natively within your PlayStation. I'm super excited about this. I think this is a great move on Sony's part and what they're doing. So, good on them. I think this is great news. Early 2022, we should be seeing more and hearing more about this.
It's funny though. I just find it funny though that it's infrastructure wise, Sony is behind, but you make it sound like they're hurting because that they're behind on it, which I don't believe that it's as bad as you think it is. Is where
they're not hurting right now, but I think looking to the future, they are going to be hurting because of it. So I think they're making the moves now, or they could be hurting because of it. Can I go ahead?
Well, I see what you're saying, and I do see your point because, like I said, I think the direction that Sony's going to the direction what Microsoft is going are two totally different directions, which is fine on what they're trying to do because there's no way Sony will catch up with the infrastructure that Microsoft has at this point. There's no way that they're going to have, there's no way that they can make it that Sony will say, okay, we're going to go in the cloud. We're going to be going into cloud gaming or cloud Azure web services and stuff that Microsoft clearly has the number 2 spot in behind AWS. But I'm just saying that overall, the biggest thing that Sony has is the biggest thing that Microsoft has been trying to get for over 20 years. And that's first party proprietaryship, which basically shows off the strength or the reasoning to buy these systems. And I think that with having now for Sony to being open enough to finally say Discord to be a part of the Sony, not necessarily the Sony umbrella, like they own them, but more like a partnership that will allow people to use Discord inside of Sony is just is finally like an open enough common sense move that they should have done years ago at this point, because everybody uses Discord. I mean, like everybody and their parents uses Discord. That's a gamer, and they definitely had to understand. Understand. And look where they had to do to get to that kind of partnership. They put stake in the company for them to say, okay, we're going to be a minority owner of Discord. But so we want to integrate with you. So they see the money potentials of it too. So in itself. So I think that's the only way, because like here in the next couple of topics here, Sony made a good move, but now Sony it's going to look kind of bad here shortly. Yeah, what we're going to be talking about. But but yeah. So I think that it's the better way of like where they're at right now is like, I'm glad that they're open enough to say this is what needs to be done. We don't have to do it in-house because there's a company or there's a group that does it themselves that's already there, and we don't have to. But we'll need to see how much are we going to get any kind of money, because I bet you that's what Sony's just thinking. Like, how much money is they going to give us? Like, that's all it is. In the ducats of what Sony's looking into it.
Like, so would this make you go back or pick up any titles? Would this intrigue you to get on PlayStation, having this integration?
Yeah. Yeah. I think here's the thing. When stuff like this happens, it's only a win-win for the consumer, because now you have more capabilities within something that you already own or something that you're looking forward to owning, right? So regardless if you own the PlayStation 5 now or you're going to in the future, that capability will then be there. And I'm assuming they're going to do that with PlayStation 4 as well. But, that's why I created a Discord, was because when I first started streaming, I was on the Monster Hunter World tour, essentially. And that's all I was playing. And most of my group would play through Sony, but because you don't know people very well, I've played with you, but I've never heard your voice. I don't know if you're going to pop off with something that would get me TOS, this or that. So we had a Discord for like, hey, if you want to, we're going to run a bunch of stuff. If you want to join the Discord, we'll pop in here and there and chit chat with you guys. And hey, we're going to run this if you want to join. Just to kind of make it more, not just us, but like community based. Manageable. Yeah. And it made it a lot more manageable. It kept us safe to a degree at the same time. And that's why we did it. But having that integration would be so much easier. And then you don't have to decide, okay, well, and then if you're a streamer too, feeding that the person that you're hearing in your headphones may not be, coming through on OBS because they're through the PlayStation app and not, Discord. So it's a whole issue. And then you're missing out on a lot of integral, like, especially if it's a new game, or like, for instance, if It Takes Two and we're playing on PlayStation 5, if, Ducky and I are playing on PlayStation and we're using the Sony app to in-game, he won't come through on my OBS. Does that make sense? And so that can also level up a streamer's efforts, because like they may have a streaming computer, but not the capabilities to stream games and stream on the same device. So having that PlayStation helps them to still play games, still communicate with their community and play games with them as well, but now opens up more capabilities if you want the person that you're playing with to then be heard on your OBS, right? So I think it's only a win-win in the long run. I just nerded out. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, but that's also really if the way that we're kind of thinking of how Discord's going to works the way it's we're thinking it's going to work,
right?
Because so. Well, because Discord right now, Discord on the Xbox doesn't. I don't know. I don't believe it works the same way as we think it does. Like I don't think voice chat is direct voice chat to the Discord servers. like the way I think you would think that it would be. But I think it's it gives you like your access or like your user profile from your Discord account that allows you to put it on your PS5 itself or your system itself. So I don't know, like it really is a matter of seeing like how it's going to be implemented. As well on top of it, so that's where I'm kind of seeing to see what on board what they're going to try to do or what their plans are for it. So, but I'm just glad that they're actually doing it though, because like you're right, because like on the console on the system, I don't play with a random group, or I don't go on voice chat on my console at all whatsoever.
Right.
Because you don't know because you don't know what to expect. Like you were saying,
asking
like
for a second.
Yeah, you're asking for that chance. So like, I'm just like, no, I'm going to just mute myself and whatever whatever happens, it happens. And then that's it. I'm just going to, I'm just going to play my game, play Monster Hunter quietly and stuff, or maybe just do emotes to kind of show what I'm doing. But other than that, yeah, you're right. You're totally right. With that, because that's too big of a trusting risk in itself. So yeah, but I
think you're right though. It'll really be in what form will this integration look like on the PlayStation, and is it going to be something that's going to be useful? Because just being able to see if somebody's online or playing a game through Discord, but I can't actually get into a chat with them on my PlayStation, I don't care about that. What is that going to do? You know what I mean? Like, give me the ability to speak directly and natively, either in somebody's Discord or however, whatever that looks like, I'm able to join from a PlayStation into a Discord server or whatever. That would be dope.
Very much so. So, I mean, we'll see. Cool. We'll definitely see. It's the seeds. Yeah, it's the seeds of something that's possibly going to get better, but like at the same time, it's still a little too early to tell where they're going to go with it. But it's cool that they are actually, the talks are in motion, so we'll go with it, and that we'll go with what we're going on with. So yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
All right. Retro saying Switch needs it. Yeah, I totally agree. Retro,
you can't talk to nobody.
Well, that's the thing, though. I've said about that. I feel like Nintendo very much knows that they are geared for kids, and I kind of like that it's not easy to chat with, you know what I mean? Because that, that's an extra layer of protection from people being able to speak directly with children.
I deal with that issue on like twice a year. With one of my godkids. Twice a year, I feel like it comes up. She's talking to an adult. They don't know she's a child, or maybe they do. I don't know. But it doesn't look good, and it's not right, and it's not okay. And she just got a Switch. And like I was like, oh, thank you. She can't talk to nobody. Yes. Hallelujah. So, I kind of like that for now.
Yeah, I think that that's a whole different thing. Talk to nobody on Switch. What do you mean? You get the joy of having to talk to be people through a mobile app when playing things like Splatoon. Yeah, that is the dumbest thing.
It's the most cumbersome for sure.
It's the dumbest thing that they say. It's like, oh, you want to talk? Okay, sure. Get your phone out while you're playing a game.
But yes, I agree. It does make it safer for kids. It's an extra, even bonus layer. Make it even harder for kids to be able to actually do it. Yeah. And they still give you the ability to.
But there are certain games that you need communication with. And that's the thing that's kind of like, wow. It's I agree. It doesn't even exist.
Use your Discord, son.
It's like, okay, guys, step 1, get a fax machine.
I've got one. Step 2?
Step 2. Figure out how to use that said fax machine.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's terrible. But yeah, we all know Nintendo's like literally decades behind comparatively to the other two. Yeah. So, all right. So, my topic is about Sony. Like, this is a Sony filled episode today. Welcome. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, I know. It just came to be like, okay, Sony's just going to get the magnifying glass today. But mine was actually pretty interesting. So mine was Sony's getting sued over PlayStation's digital store monopoly. So what they mean by that I find it very fascinating, but I find it very, this makes sense. Because it's like, so basically Sony is being like, there's a PlayStation user that's seeking a class action status for a new lawsuit that alleges that Sony is an illegal monopoly over their digital game purchases, because essentially what they're saying is that the only way you can buy Sony stuff, like Sony digital content, is through Sony themselves. So you can't buy third-party download codes or because they're saying it could be violating antitrust and unfair competition laws and stuff. And this is and it's kind of funny because when they brought that up, because I was thinking about it, Sony is the only one that doesn't allow you. Golly, what is up with this? I have a lot of stuff here.
My hair's over there.
Yeah, Sony is the only one that has that doesn't allow you to gift keys, games, or anything to anyone. It is automatically locked to your account itself. If you don't remember, too long ago, Sony was also the ones that stopped, digital content purchases from stores like Best Buy, GameStop, and stuff like that 2.5 years ago. So the only way that you can get digital content specifically through Sony is you have to go on the PlayStation Network. Oh, Pharmacy's asking, do they even give refunds these days? They technically do, but that is a hurdle that you will never want to do because that hurdle can take months for them to do it. Because look at what they did with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk got them so pissed because there was a lot of people that were asking for refunds. They took it off the store completely. So there's no such thing as a digital content version of Cyberpunk 2077. Still not available right now on the PlayStation Store. Yeah, so because that's the level of power that Sony has over all their digital content for their system. So Sony previously allowed players to purchase games, like I said earlier, via download codes through third party third-party companies like Best Buy and stuff like that. But in 2019, they leaked a memo did leak and circulated that the download codes were only purchasable only on the PlayStation Store, not third-party retailers itself. So that means like GameStop's original had an original download place where you could have originally picked up the downloads and stuff. So people are kind of getting pissed about that, as well as they should, because because that means that the only way you can get this content is that. So that also means that they can mark whatever price that they want for their digital content, and there's no other competition that could say, oh, we could beat that to like $10 cheaper than what Sony's doing. Yeah, Sony is trying to get full control of all. Well, they did get full control over that. So hopefully, if this suit goes well, then that means that is going to change, and that's going to force them to allow some sort of difference in what they're going to do. Because that's the one thing that people need to remember about Sony. Sony is just all about their want. I mean, yes, they are. It's a very solid system. It's a very awesome system, but they're there to make money, and that they're trying to get their maximum profit off of this system by having a good product. But at the same time, doing some of this stuff. For instance, they're the last to do cross platform because they were afraid of losing money from microtransactions through some of the games. Hence, like Fortnite, Rocket League, all these different kinds of games and stuff like that. So, and then they still technically, in a way, they still kind of control that on their end. They're very flaky on the cross platform play still, but yeah. So this is so hopefully this will loosen their grip for digital content to stop being monopolized by this thing. So I kind of wanted to get y'all's thoughts about this and see it. And no, I'm sorry. Before we do, there is a good point that Pharmacy did say. It's why Epic versus Apple lawsuits important. The idea of being able to control where you sell your purchased digital content. Yes, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. About it, and I think that if Epic wins, then Sony will have a way bigger uphill battle to go on for that to justify that, because things will big time change. So, what are y'all's thoughts about this?
Oh boy, so if this is only good for the consumer in the future, right? This has been an issue with PlayStation from the beginning. They've always wanted to capitalize on the fact that it made it harder to get keys for games. Like, I mean, it's so frustrating when a company knows that they're doing you dirty and they just don't care. But you also, as a consumer, it's like, okay, well, these are my two choices. And if I want to play this game, it's only on this one. So this would be the likely one for me to purchase. Or I can buy this one, which I can still have the same games on PC. Well, I'm going to go with the one that has the games I can't play on PC, right? Or the ones that have the only on this PlayStation can you play this game? So they know they're doing you dirty, and they know that you're kind of stuck and there's nothing for you to do about it. But I hope this pushes, like, it's so frustrating to see companies do monopolies, and when they know it's illegal, they don't care. No one's calling them out. No one's doing anything about it. And finally, someone's able to step up and say, okay, I can do it. I can do something about it. With Epic, I feel like they're playing a victim when in reality, like, you're really not. But okay, I understand your point, and I think it's a valid point. It would be so nice to be able to utilize a machine you paid all this money for and play games on it that, would look beautiful and stunning. And they talk about, we have all these wonderful capabilities. Open that up to third party. I would love to play multiple things. That's why I didn't go for the PlayStation 5, because it's like, what's the point? Like, I just might as well FOMO, I lost out. Oh, well, there's nothing I can do on that end. It's like, bite the bullet. But there's so many, like, indie developer games that I would love to play that you can't play on PlayStation.
I mean, it's hard to say because, it's always, when you come to a monopoly, it's like, the people, it's always best to kind of have competition, because competition allows people to have the best kind of between the fight, right, between one another. And when one person owns all of that, it makes them kind of complacent when it comes to that kind of thing, So, like, I don't know, like, the way that this is, like, is this another look of, competition breeds innovation. Thank you, Zakar. That's the best way of describing it. And the best way to describe what Sony is doing with this is that they're just, like, because they're wanting the rule of thumb on this. And every game company has been guilty of this. I mean, look at Nintendo in the 90s. Nintendo in the 90s was super aggressive, that it was a pain for them to even try for competition to come in directly to them, until Sega Genesis had to really push them off. And the same thing. Well, Microsoft is Microsoft. So, like, I mean, you already know the whole thing with that, but it's just that they don't want that kind of level of competition made with them on top of it. But it's just a little bit ridiculous on like, when it comes to this kind of thing. And then what's worse is that they let it happen. Like, so now it's like, oh, okay, well, now we need to, and it's not even like company is realizing that this is happening. This is the gamer that's trying to get that kind of competition, or that kind of level of awareness. That's like, hey, we need to get a class action to say that things need to change for this company to listen to us. So we're not paying $60 bills for some games that came out years ago and stuff, because they can essentially do that. I mean, what about you, Smitty?
I think Aaron here in chat makes a good point. He says, I'm torn because it's their platform, and from a business perspective, I feel they should have the right to control how content is purchased for said platform, and that if people don't like it, they can play a different console. That's not a monopoly to me. A monopoly would be if Sony was the only console option there. These games can be played other places. But then obviously it sucks for the consumer. As a gamer, I want cheaper prices.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
that's the whole lawsuit, though. They have to prove that Sony is monopolizing and in a
Right.
very detailed, because, you know, Aaron could walk into that courtroom and say, ta-da, and then it crumbles the defense's argument. And that's why there's a lawsuit. They have to prove in court that this is a monopoly, and here's why.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. This is the way I'm kind of seeing this. Let's say theoretically, and it's already technically proven on how Microsoft does their stuff. Let's say theoretically, Tom Clancy's The Division 2,
yes,
comes out. The Division 2 is on sale, digitally on from, like, let's say Best Buy decides to say we got a bonus amount of this game. We're going to be able to discount this game for that in the digital game, and they are going to do that for the Xbox. But yet you can still buy Tom Clancy the Division 2 on the PlayStation. But the only way that you can buy that same game is through Sony's marketplace. You can't buy it anywhere else. But so they set the MSRP tag on the game that they don't even own, because it's a different company. It's Ubisoft that made this game, that they didn't even own themselves. But they can do that because there is no competition against them to say that we can do this cheaper. You know? I mean, that's the way I'm looking at this. It's like, so yeah, Sony could say that to their own internal games. Like, they could say that for Ghost of Tsushima or Horizon Zero Dawn or any of these other games that they made themselves. But you're basically holding captive on all third-party digital games, all to say that the only way that you can buy those digital games is through Sony's PlayStation Store. You can't get it. You can't go if Best Buy decides to do a special liquidation sale on their digital copies, or the Microsoft, like you ever would, because you have Microsoft Game Pass, but you can buy those games individually, and stuff. You don't have options. Yeah, you don't have options for it. Yeah, that's the monopoly. That's the part where they can prove that that's monopoly, because it's not even their game. Right. and there's not any way to get it cheaper. You have to go through them to do it. I mean,
which is, I mean, still though, but you don't have to, other than their titles, which, you know, they should be entitled to be able to do that. Yeah. And I do agree. This is definitely one that I'm torn on, because to me, in my thing, then you're just really boxing people out to it's like, why go and get it on PlayStation when I can get it on Steam and get it at a discount, or go to GOG and get it for, you know what I mean, whatever.
And that's exactly the same issue that happened when crossplay happened on Fortnite, though. They're like, why would I need to go on the PlayStation to play for my Fortnite when I have more accessibility to get all my stuff for everything else, you know? I mean, that's, you know, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Well, but I mean, very much so too. I do feel that this is, I mean, the correlation between this and the Apple stuff is the similarities are, you know, it's the same kind of concept in my opinion. They get to set the rules and whatever, and you have to play by those rules. Otherwise, you know, again, but then at what point in time? Because to me, I felt like Apple is a hindrance to cloud gaming, although there is a workaround now that or not now, but it has been around, where they do it as an application, as a browser thing.
The classification is different.
So it doesn't good. See, which is fantastic, and I love that. That changed the game. But you know, they themselves became a roadblock in that progress because of their stupid store rules and stuff like that. But it's weird again. Like, to me, and especially with Sony, it's all about them making sure they get their piece of the pie, and they'll be damned if they don't get their piece of pie. You know, what we've seen from the app, or I think it was the app. I can't remember which one it was, but how they said with the crossplay thing, people have to pay in order to be able to allow crossplay on their games for Sony. That is wild. Nobody else does that. It's just like, what? Like they're like that. If that does not tell you everything you need to know about what Sony's about and what their bottom line is, that I can't help you. Because that says everything right there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you guys just about them ducats. That's all that is. So however they get it, they just need to make sure they're getting their ducats. Exactly.
Right. I mean, that's where it's going to come into. And so I mean, it's very like, I think we can all agree though, like if this will really hinge on whatever the outcome is going to be between Epic versus Apple, because but I think overall though with Apple, the reason why it's such a big deal is like because Apple's the one that started the precedence of this, because they were the first like digital marketplace for gaming originally, like for digital content truly, like when it came to all of this later on. I mean, like in the early stages of apps, so like, and now since with all this coming around, I mean, who knows? What? I would love to talk to someone about this. This is like someone's way smarter than me when it comes to this, because this is not my pay. This is not my bag in any way. But I just find this very interesting and very fascinating. But like I said, like I'm a Sony. I'm going to be a fan with Sony, because Sony quality wise is always going to be good. It's not like even though there's a lot of things I'm going to hate about it, but Sony does make a good the good system, and they make the games I want to play. But at the same time, I'm not making them like, oh, they're definitely not the victims of all of this, like in any way whatsoever. So let's see. Zakar the Tall says, looking at this, I can see Sony getting into trouble, as Nintendo and Microsoft have set the precedents for publishers to set the prices of their own games on their digital storefronts. Yeah, we know that, but Zakar, they're playing catch up to Sony when it comes to that. So they don't need, the reason why that they did this is to do that. They're doing that so they can make it look better, appeal better for the public to the developers, because technically right now the number one company for indies is Nintendo with the Switch. So like they get most of their money. The most developed indie developers get a lot more money on the Switch than they do for either the the Xbox or the PlayStation. Hence, that's a fact. But so they have to do that to kind of sweeten that deal, which is fine. I mean, to deal with it, let's see. Wow, a lot of people have been talking about this. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Apple's reasoning for denying stuff like xCloud was sus in general. They won't allow apps without store subscriptions attached to it, but allows apps like Netflix to exist. Yeah, that is very true. But like Smitty says, like you're right. There is a lot of backdoor stuff that has to be happening for them to get away with stuff like that. Because I mean.
Otherwise it doesn't make sense. Then they literally would be, they would have, I feel like they'd have another issue of then, hey, are you then, what's the word? It's not discriminating against, but, you know what I mean? Just playing favorites and allowing some rules to, you know what I mean? I'd imagine that it'd have to be one, here's what the rule is. This is what you have to follow. But we got a deal in place. This is in the contract that we've signed or whatever. So I'm guessing it's on an individual basis by company. And again, that is going to boil down to how many ducats can you give me?
Mm-hmm. So Retro made the most logical argument. And this is and he's right, because and not just a marketing perspective, but from a business perspective. So as a company, they basically are pushing out a product. They buy X amount, right? And the company says, you can have this. And this works with any company, right? I'm selling you this. I don't know what it is, but here it is. You want 500. And I tell you, you cannot sell this at no lower than $5.99. But you pick your price, right? And that's how purchasing works. And he's not wrong. So if they bought X amount of digital copies, which is no different than a brick and mortar store like GameStop, distribution, so on and so forth, other companies could have made the same deal, but didn't. So in that case, it wouldn't be not monopoly. And that's why this case is going to be interesting, because that's true. You're not wrong at all. And so that's where, Sony can come back and be like, but they could have made the same deal. That's not our fault. And
Well,
they did it.
it's a difference though, because what they're saying is that the only way that they can get their product through Sony basically shut their
Through their
doors
store.
to brick and mortar stores. That's basically what they did. I mean, they basically said, because remember, like I said, 2019 was the last year when you could have went to a GameStop or to a Best Buy where you could have picked up a key and said, yes, I'd like to get a digital copy of Red Dead Redemption or whatever, and do that. Sony had the power to just say, done. It's like, no more. You can't do that whatsoever. Regardless of them being their copy of their game or whatnot. So that's just as if like, I mean, it's just and I mean, you're definitely right about that, Retro. But like to say that like they essentially said no store can compete with us when it comes to digital content. They basically put a brick wall for any company to try to compete against that towards it. So by not selling digital content to any brick and mortar store, they kept it all to themselves. So So
I think that's a separate point, though. You know what I mean? Like he's not saying that it's like a brick and mortar store. That a brick and mortar store. It's the same concept, but they're doing it in their own like hemisphere. Do you know what I mean?
And that's what makes it makes it weird.
They agreed upon these prices with these companies of said games. They didn't make these games. So and so made it, or you know what I mean? Epic made the game. So let's say Fortnite did cost $20, right? Okay. And then it's on sale for $15.99 over at Microsoft because they're not selling, but they bought X amount. Now they have to get rid of that product. Same concept, but they still have it for $20. But if you want to play it on the PlayStation, you have to pay that $20. It is not for sale right now.
Well, but the difference is that Microsoft is allowing you. Well, Microsoft is letting you find it, letting you get it from a different outside part, but they're not but that's not even a non-starter when it comes with Sony's digital keys at all. Like if Sony said that, okay, if there was a store that was still that they were allowing to sell digital content, then it would be it'd be something. But Sony is saying no store is able to do that because you're not able to pick up anything. And plus, like profit wise, when it comes to these kind of games and game wise, stores don't get that much on that. It's a 2% markup of what they usually get on MSRP from the games itself. Yeah, so it's like so they don't usually get what they're playing, but that's why that's why I will never get digital or depend on digital 100% because Sony's marking those prices. They're the ones that are saying $60 for it when you could buy the game or find it used or whatever physical copy wise for like 75 or 80% cheaper. So like it's like why would I do that? So I mean because they're the one that can make whatever the price that they want you to do it because they know for a fact that no one else is competing with them for that same digital content. Yeah, and that's So like I mean, in a normal deal. All right, well, great.
We can keep going.
Dude. Great deal. So we'll see. Like I said, the only thing we need to keep an eye out and people to not forget about is the Epic versus Apple case because that's the that's the cornerstone for all of this. If Epic, if Epic wins this, not saying Epic is clean and all the way on this.
No.
If Epic wins this, then I think there's going to be a lot of changes that's going to happen when it comes to digital content being sold online like that. Because that's where I think. Okay, cool. Man, I love that. I loved everyone being a part of all of that. I love that talk. Lex.
Yeah.
What is your topic?
Well, I get asked all the time, what are your favorite PlayStation 5 games? I don't have a PlayStation 5. Stop asking me. But someone else made a list, so I'll read it to you. It's Sony Day. You're welcome. Top 10 PlayStation games for the PS5. Here you go. Resident Evil Village. Wasn't gonna play it. Now I think I might. I got tired of Resident Evil. I'm gonna be honest. And then I've been watching everyone play it. And I'm like, I've got FOMO, so I might play it. Resident Evil Village. Go for it. Merry Christmas. Returnal. It looks cool. Don't know what it is. Have fun. It Takes Two. I've been playing this game. Now, I would love to play this on the PlayStation 5. I've yet to hold a PlayStation 5 controller. I do not know what it feels like. This is a game that I would go, Smitty, I come over and we play.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun playing It Takes Two. It is a blast. I think it is one of the best teamwork games I've ever played. Ever. Hands down. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I would love to see this on a 4K TV with a PlayStation 5. Okay?
Yeah.
There you go. Play it. You're welcome. Yakuza like a dragon. You want to be a gangster? There's your game. Okay? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm looking forward to this.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that you were. I didn't know you were interested in those.
I played Assassin's Creed. Second brain surgery round. Yeah.
Yeah. What about what Aaron L. White says? A Way Out and Brothers.
Ooh.
A Way Out was great.
I played that with Smitty. We played that together.
With yourself?
It was awesome.
Smitty Tales.
Oh,
Smitty
the
Tales,
other Smitty.
yeah.
Yes. The person who created It Takes Two apparently has other games. Check them out. But I don't know if you can play that on the PS5, so don't ask. Astro's Playroom, which was part of the PlayStation 5 platform. So basically, it's a way for them to demonstrate like how the controller works and all of the cool functionality of it. And it was a component of it. It's pretty cool. Like there's a GPU forest and all of that, characters, imagery, yada yada. It's pretty cool from what I hear.
I played that with Link. We went through it, and the nostalgia is great. You go through the levels are great. The sound design, the music, the soundtrack for it is like Astro's Playroom. Like it's solid. It is solid. Yeah. I would say if you do have a PlayStation 5, check it out for sure.
And it's free. It comes with it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Of course, you can play Call of Duty. I'm sure it looks beautiful on the PlayStation 5. Demon's Souls.
The remake.
It's a remake. Yep. I've never played any of that series. I've heard some good things, not some bad things.
It's basically the game that really started all of the like Dark Souls and all that stuff. That was the start of all that. Well, Smitty doesn't have the patience for those games. Smitty would kill someone about like on how you die in those games sometimes.
I tried one of them. I was like, nope. I played like an hour. I was like, not for me.
Yeah, Dark Souls is one of those you really have to. It's one of those you had to be there from the beginning kind of thing, and I can see that. Destiny 2 Beyond Light you can also play, and Spider-Man Miles Morales is also available. So stop asking me what to play on PlayStation 5. There's your list. You're freaking welcome.
What about Tiger Woods 97?
Oh, that's a great one. I hear the 8-bit
Tiger Woods 97.
Yep, Tiger Woods 97, man. That's the best golf game ever.
I would say
Wishbone.
I'm glad that Wishbone. I still need to run through Morales.
Wishbone.
I think it's kind of hilarious that Destiny 2 Beyond Light's on here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually surprised it's not on there was Grand Theft Auto 5, because that game has been like in the top 10 list for over 6 or 7 years.
Anymore.
It's insane.
That's crazy. Well, I think I can't remember if it's this year or next year that we're supposed to get crossplay, like true crossplay with Destiny 2. I'm waiting for that. I don't play on PlayStation because I got the DLC stuff all on PC, and that does not transfer over to my PlayStation, which is lame. So I'm not going to buy it on two different things. Like, what are you talking about?
Have they added MTS 5 on Game Pass? That's a good question. That's a really good question. That's only Smithy can answer. Well, mine, I will honestly say this, Returnal is the one thing that is like freaking amazing to me right now. I've been loving the game. I mean, like there's a clip of me just freaking out, finally beating like a boss that like I haven't beaten the boss before. Because it was crazy though, but it was great. It was definitely great. But I would say specifically that is my number one right now. Like, I'm not really into the
It looks horror gamey.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it also has kind of like the Matrix kind of vibes because it reminds me of the you know, the bots and stuff that you had to fight. You know, so but like I think one of the coolest things was the what was it called? Just the feel, your character picking up stuff, like all that stuff is just it's all happening. The exploration,
so smooth.
And then on top of all of that's happening, there's like virtually no loading, which is crazy to me. I'm just like, what is going on? Everything is so smoothly transitioning to one another. It's just it blows my mind on where they're at, like where we're at with all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I will always say that game is going to be like the number one. That's going to be the go-to for if you're a PlayStation 5 owner. What about you, Smithy?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I'm with you there. I'm loving it. I think it's and you know, he was already saying, like, I'm not one that I don't have a lot of patience for games like that, but I do, because at least with this one, I feel like I can feel that I'm learning as I'm going along, or each cycle I've learned a little something different that I can then take. The no saving stuff is frustrating as hell. Or like it takes forever, and then you're right, it's a celebration. I've only beaten one boss, but like literally I felt like I beat the game. And, I was like, oh, huh?
Oh, are you in the same place I am? Like the second area of it, the red.
I'm in the red. Yeah. Crimson, whatever.
Oh my god,
dude.
No, just get welcome to something that's like a 2-story tall bot that's like shooting missiles at you. Oh god, I love that. Yeah, this game is tight. I haven't fallen in love with Resident Evil as much.
I've never been one for Resident Evil. I haven't played a Resident Evil game in over 10ь years. It just never really.
Yeah. Well, I like the Resident Evil. It's just like, but for me, I don't think it's like the for me personally, just personally for me is personally, I think the game itself is just not my type of thing. So like, and then I've been seeing streamers play it. It's fun. It's fun to kind of just watch because I know I'm not going to be playing it. And secondly, and I know I'm going to be playing. I would need to watch 7 because I still haven't played 7 at all. Resident Evil, the house, the one in the house. So I know I would want to play that. Well, I mean, you're the same character. You're playing the same character from the house to it. He has the worst luck in the worst luck ever.
Interesting. Yeah, that's terrible.
I have watched other people play it. So, and that one didn't really speak to me. And then I don't know. And I was like 9-foot lady. The queer girl inside me was like, oh wow. And then I was like, nah, it's probably overrated. And then I watched several people play it, and I can't take my eyes off of it. And I would say out of all of the monster genres, vampires and werewolves, oh my, like speaks to me more than, a sleeper agent of this and that. And Smitty, what happened? Is your stalker back? It speaks to me more than zombies. So, I also felt like there was a lot of, I don't know. I'm going to stop my mouth before I get myself in trouble with the Resident Evil community.
Well, no, I mean, it's not that. It's just like
their jump scares were you're fishing. I saw that coming a mile away. Stop it.
The whole thing with the Resident Evil right now, I've been getting mixed reviews. It's getting mixed reviews. I mean, and that's fine. I just think that we're going to see how it's really going to come up to be. So like, but we'll see. We'll just we'll see if I change my mind later on. But I'm not feeling this one as much. But we'll see. We'll go with it.
I'm starting to feel it. Yeah. I'm starting to have a little bit of FOMO.
Lex.
Yeah, what about I've been hearing people talking about Biomutant, and I'm still kind of unclear exactly what it is. Somebody told me the other day, but I forgot about it.
Don't do it, pharmacy.
Yeah, we actually got a key. I got a reviewer playing that one right now, actually. But we'll definitely see. hopefully see where that's going to go. I can't wait to see what the review is on that. But it's an action adventure third party game, but you're an animal. It's all animal kind of thing. So so you definitely love, but we'll see. Lex, what do you have planned for the week?
Thank you for asking. Well, tomorrow, I'm going to force my dad to celebrate my birthday tomorrow, though he wants to do something on Tuesday. I'm like, no, I'm streaming, sir. It's tradition now. He forgot my birthday last year, and I think he's trying to make up for it. I love you, Dad. I know I just threw you under the bus. I'm sorry, but that's how I got the sweet chair. He felt bad. Just came to my door.
That's how I got this sweet chair. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. So we're gonna go to the Van Gogh exhibit tomorrow, which I'm really excited.
Ooh, that looks dope.
It's at Area 15, and I haven't gone out at all. I have quarantined for the last year and a half, and I'm going to the Van Gogh exhibit. I'm excited. It looks so cool. You're in the paintings. It's so neat. I'm so excited for that. I've been dealing with a lot of hand swelling because, fun fact, I'll achieve level 33 on Tuesday, and my arthritis is kicking in. So Monday, just taking it easy. Gonna play some more inside, which is really fun. I find interesting ways to murder him. It's a blast. And then Tuesday we'll have my birthday extravaganza, and then just hang out the rest of the week. That's about it.
How are you liking inside?
I love it. So Limbo was cool for someone who is tinnitus for my disabled community. You'll feel me on that. It's a little quiet. I can hear right now I hear the. And so as I was playing that, I kept singing songs, and I went back and I watched it. I was like, I'm singing to the key of the ringing in my ears throughout this entire game. Interesting, because it doesn't have a lot of sound. It does at some parts, which is almost startling when out of the ringing, you hear something. You're like, was that in the house or okay. Inside is different, and it's definitely more sound. The soundtrack is beautiful. I like the how do I explain this? It's kind of like an upgrade from Limbo to Inside, how it looks.
Well, you like it a lot more.
It's the same style, but elevated a little bit, right? And so it's kind of neat. At first I was like, maybe I like Limbo better, but now as I'm playing Inside, I'm like, maybe. Cool. It's fun though. It's good.
Right on. All right, Smitty, what about you? What are you up to?
We'll see how much time I get this week. I got a pretty busy week coming up work-wise, but probably just getting in some Returnal when I can. And then, of course, we're going to be starting out the new season of The Splicer starts Tuesday. So I'll probably stream, or I'm going to try to stream Tuesday for that opening thing and check it out and whatnot. So I'm excited about that. That'll be fun. I'm sorry.
Right.
I want a baby.
The Fallen Baby? Yeah, man.
He's cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
What about you, man? What do you got going on this week? Other than spending money on Bungie.
Yeah.
Bungie swag.
Whatever. I am going to be playing, I'm going to be doing, first off, I got to do my review for Jupiter's Legacy. That's the new Netflix show that just came out today or yesterday. I'm going to publish it. Yeah.
You know who's in that? Stephen O. Young. Stephen O. Young's in that.
Yeah. Wait, no, Stephen Young is not in that. Is he? I don't remember him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, that's Invincible. He plays
Stephen
Invincible.
Ewan. That's different.
Who's Stephen O. Young?
Stephen O. Young played Ewan. Mr. Negative in Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man?
And yeah.
He could have played his
pretty
friend.
Sure he's...
Okay, wait. I think I know you're talking about. I think I know you're talking about now because Jupiter's Legacy. Yeah, so so I did a review. Need to finish up the finishing touches of it. Publishing that hopefully this week. And then also what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing some more Returnal for the first half of the week. The second half, play some Ratchet and Clank. Because
nice.
Finished the PS4 version. I did a lot of it yesterday. I was surprised at how fun that game is. Never played Ratchet and Clank in my life.
I haven't either.
Yeah. But definitely a fun game. So just got to get ready for it because Donk. Big shout out to Critically Awkward community. Was saying that it was good. It's worth $70. And I'm like for Ratchet and Clank, and I'm like, oh, like that's pretty rich coming from you. So
yeah.
I'll see how good that is. Yeah. The here we go. Aaron is agreeing. Ratchet and Clank 20. The Ratchet and Clank 2016 is an all-time fave. I love the series, and Rift Apart is my most anticipated of the year. Yeah, so we'll definitely see. I'm on board already, man. Like, so if you want to get on
board,
yeah,
that's surprising.
What? Why are y'all making it sound like so negative?
Because you are the one that will wait. You will wait. You have that patience, and you'll wait.
What?
It's not even about it being. If it's a fun game, I feel he'll do it. It's just surprising that he was convinced enough to do that. Because I've seen my man's waits on all kinds of games, and I was like, Ratchet and Clank, interesting. I was like, because I've never played the series either. I've never played any of them.
Okay, look at it this way. This way I look at it. First off, Donk is a very negative person. All right?
True.
Wow. Somebody clip that and send a donk. Somebody clip and send a donk.
I'm just saying.
He's not wrong.
I'm not
That's going to be his new sound effect.
Donk is a very negative person, but he likes what I like. He likes what I like, so I respect I respect his things on it. So like, yeah, his opinion on the game. So when he says that it's worth $70, I'm like, okay, I'll put my money where my mouth is and say this is on you, dog. So I am going to try it out, and then I decided let me play the remake version from the movie or whatever back in 2016. And I've been liking it. I've been enjoying it. So, and I'm not a big platformer fan. I don't usually play a lot of platformers anymore. Yeah. So this one's actually fun. I'll give it to him. You know what? Clip it and give it to him. He'll probably agree. He'll be like, "Yeah, that's true." It's like that's classic me. Do it.
That is true. That is true.
Guys,
I want to make it a sound effect.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh, I can do it.
You have it.
I got it.
You have it now. So there you go. Guys, thank you for checking out the CFG GameCast episode number 91. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. We'll be back next weekend, but if you missed this episode, that's okay. We release it Monday mornings on all podcast services. So if you can listen to us on Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, Apple, Google Podcasts, anything. There's no reason to miss out on our sexy little voices, but definitely check us out on any podcast service out there, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, where you get to see the cool interviews and stuff that we do. Like I said earlier, Jupiter's Legacy review coming this week. So definitely check that out. It goes a long, long way. So once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing off. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.